folks. Hey there, People Stack family. It's time for another week of the People Stack podcast. And what I'll do is I'll make this content pretty evergreen and I won't refer to current events. However, there's always a time for an exception. I am recording this on Sunday, March 15th, 2020. So some of you may be watching or listening to this very soon after that. Some of you, it may be about a week later, and some of you may be watching or listening to this weeks or months or even years later. But I do feel an obligation to talk about what's going on in the world right now, the coronavirus, because it's a challenge, to say the least. And also, even though we have what we have going on right now in the world, the lessons are still evergreen. The lessons of thriving in times of uncertainty are going to be relevant well after this has passed and we're dealing with whatever other challenges the world is throwing at us. And so I do want to address what's currently going on, but again, it really, the topic of this week is your career and your life in uncertain times. And right now, what's going on in terms of the coronavirus and wanting to flatten the curve and many people are practicing social distancing. Many people, including us, their kids are off from school for at least 2 weeks. We're trying to figure out what to do in terms of the big stuff, like what to do with our kids now that they're home, to make sure that they still have structure, to make sure that they're not letting their brains turn to mush, to make sure that we still are finding ways to connect, even though that we are physically, socially isolated. So in times like this, things like Zoom, things like Slack are becoming even more and more important. And what's really heartwarming during this time is to see the light of amazing leaders being shined forth. For example, you probably have received these emails too from many companies that you bought their products, you've invested in their services. For example, the CEO of Zoom has announced that he has made the platform free for K through 12 education purposes. Also, Teachable, which is an online learning platform, an online course creation app, has announced that they are making it free for governmental and educational institutions. There's that, and there's, that the airlines and the hotels they're saying it's, we're going to waive any last minute cancellation fees, and we're here to help. And just these messages of love and light that are coming through during what are unprecedented times. There's no question here. This isn't about, hiding in a hole and saying it's not happening. This is about facing the reality of it and doing what we can to make sure that we take just a minute to focus on risk mitigation and making sure that we're doing what's best for ourselves, for our families, for the world. Taking a minute to do that, but not living in that place of fear and uncertainty and how do we mitigate risk. So that's what I want to talk about today. One of the main things that is going to be so important for you as a tech leader, so important for you as a mom or a dad or a husband or a wife or a community member or whatever other hats you might wear, will be one of the most important things will be for you to maintain your focus on what's next. Maintain your focus on your mission. Maintain your focus on what's possible. Maintain your focus on, yes, how can we fix this and how can we make sure everyone is staying happy, healthy, and wealthy? And also, how can we create a better tomorrow, a better 2 weeks from now, a better month from now, a better 6 months from now, not just for yourself and for your career, but for everyone around you as well. Some people take this to an extreme and they'll say, oh, just focus on the positive. Just be positive. Just be positive that everything is going to be fine and it's all good and it's all just going to blow over. And it's almost like it's a stick your head in the sand kind of an approach to these kinds of realities. And that is not what I'm advocating here. Some people call it toxic positivity. I am not advocating for toxic anything, let alone toxic positivity. This is about being mindful about where your focus is and where the best place for your focus to be in any given moment on any given day so that you can move forward, so that you can create the future for yourself and your loved ones that you have always wanted to create. That does not change. That does not change. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, I want to put my life goals on the back burner because I got to deal with all of this nonsense. I got to deal with all of this craziness right now. Now is the time to double and triple down on creating your vision and creating your mission. Now is the best time to focus on that. If someone around you is sick and needs to be cared for, yes, you care for them. You check in on them. You do everything that you can to support them, to make sure that they're doing what they need to do in order to stay happy and healthy and cared for. And also, you continue to create a better future. You don't focus all of your attention on, oh my God, I have to deal with all of this nonsense, because if you do that, then you're not going to create a better tomorrow. You're not going to create a better 2 weeks from now. So now, more than any other time, is the time to remind yourself and continually take actions toward creating and building your dream career. Now is the time more than any to do that and to focus on that and to focus on that intentionally. Whatever your dream career is that you want to build, remind yourself of what that is, what is possible in the weeks and months and years to come. Do you want a promotion? Do you want to earn a 20, 30, 40, 50% raise? Do you want to start your own business? What is it that you want to create? What career do you want to build for yourself? And this is where it's just going to feel so amazingly awesome, is what is that going to do for the people around you? How is it going to help? How are you going to be of service? How are you going to continue to be an advocate for everyone around you? How are you going to do that? And you are that now. You are that already. You're not an advocate if you're running around in fear. You're not an advocate if you're constantly talking about how this is so crazy and it's terrible and I can't believe this is happening and there's no way out of it. That's not being an advocate. That's not being a leader. Leaders are visionaries. Yes, we deal with what's going on right now and the reality of the current situation so that we care for the people who need to be cared for. Yes, absolutely. And on top of that, we also create and build a better future for everyone else. So that's what I encourage all of you to do right now. Right now in this moment, wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, wherever you're watching it, whatever point in time you're listening to this, how can I create a better future right now? What can I do? Who can I call? What email can I send? What Zoom session can I schedule? What other questions can I ask myself to create a better future? What can I put in my calendar? What book can I read? What beliefs can I double and triple down on so that I can create a better future? Because there is another side of this. In other words, this too shall pass, just like everything else. This too shall pass. The other side of this is we are going to come out of it stronger and bigger and badder, more badass than ever. Only if we stay focused on what we want to create and what impact we want to make on the world as technical leaders. If you're complaining about toilet paper and worrying about toilet paper, that is not going to serve other people. That is not being an advocate. Do what you need to do to connect. We had a virtual cocktail hour last night. We hosted a Zoom session with a bunch of friends, and just for an hour, we gave them the Zoom link, and we had our wine and our beer and our bourbon and other drinks of choice, and just chatted. Yeah, a little bit about coronavirus, but also you just had fun. And we're just in a place of gratitude for being able to connect with all of the other people that are in our lives that we want to be there to support. We all have a human need for connection. Yes, even the introverts. Yes, even the introverts like me. I'm an extreme introvert, by the way. So you might begin to tell yourself the story, oh, no, I don't need the connection. This social isolation is actually a good thing. We all need it. We all need it. Just some need it a little bit more than others. But yeah, if you're worrying about toilet paper, if you're worrying about where your groceries are going to come from, if you're worrying about, the fact that the kids are home and WTF are you going to do with them? That's not being an advocate. Have a plan in place so that the kids have structure, so that you know what you're going to do to get your food. Have that plan, put it in place, put it into motion, and then say, what's next? How am I going to continue to be a leader? How am I going to continue to be on this path toward building my dream career? That's how you focus on what you need to focus on during uncertain times. It's all about where your focus is. Where your focus goes, that's where your energy flows. So if you focus on worry and fear and doubt and uncertainty, then guess what your energy is going to be? Blah. It's going to be, you're just going to feel so heavy. You're going to feel so tight. You're going to feel like, I can't do this. But guess what happens when you focus on gratitude and joy and what's possible and love and yay, I get to connect and yay, I get to use Zoom more. And this is such an awesome opportunity to build my muscle in remote leadership. What an awesome opportunity to do that. If that's where your focus goes, guess what your energy is going to be? Let's do this. I got this. Bring it on. I am strong. I am capable. I am a leader. That's what it's all about, folks. And look, we're here to help. So if you want to talk to someone about work, about what's going on at work right now, whether it's because, you're suddenly thrown into, oh, wow, I need to lead remotely and I've never done that before, or you are feeling a little bit or a lot uncertain and anxious and fearful about your career, about your life, we're here to help. So now more than ever, we are absolutely here to help. We actually just hired a new team member, and it wasn't because of the coronavirus, but the timing was very, very, a very, very good timing, let's just say. So we have a new team member because we're getting more and more calls booked than ever from people wanting help, not just to upgrade their careers, but to see their whole life from this picture of gratitude and joy and connection and making an impact. So the link to book a call with my team at The People Stack is thepeoplestack.com/book. We'll talk about what's going on right now at work. You're going to talk about how that's affecting your career, your life outside of work. And you're going to talk about how to get unstuck from the fear and the uncertainty and the doubt so that you can focus on abundance and what's possible and building your dreams so that you can continue to make that impact, especially in these times of uncertainty. That's what we're going to talk about. thepeoplestack.com/book. We are here to help. We are still, I feel obligated to say that we are still up and running absolutely more than ever. This is some businesses are like, oh, we need to cancel. We can't do this anymore. It's just not going to be possible. We are like the opposite of that, folks. At the People Stack, we are thriving. There are more people than ever reaching out for help because of the uncertainty that is around us right now. So we're here. We are here to talk. We are here to support. We are here to love you. We are here to be your advocates, because all advocates need advocates, and that's what we are here to do. So we'll talk to some of you soon. And just to wrap up, the message of the day is, here's how you deal with uncertainty. Here's how you keep moving forward in your career and in your life in these times of amazing uncertainty. Number one, have your plan. Know what you're going to do during these times with your kids, to make sure that you have the food, to make sure that you have structure, to make sure that everyone's taken care of, to make sure that your health is number one. Have your plan, put it in place, and do the things that you need to do in order to execute that every day. That's your rock, so that you know that you can always go back to that and that you don't have to keep worrying about how this is going to happen, Decide on what that is. That's going to be where you know that you have this certainty that I got this. You do that, and you spend about 10% of your time there, 10% of your time on how are the kids taken care of, and how do we make sure that we have food? How do we make sure that mom and dad are taken care of, and that we do Zooms and we do Skypes and we do FaceTimes? You do that. The planning piece of it. 90% of the time is going to be focused on what's next and how can I make more of an impact, and loving your kids and loving your mom and your dad and your other loved ones, and loving your team and connecting with them on a real human level, and helping and sharing with them about what's possible and the opportunities that are now in front of us right now. But you cannot do that if that's not where you're focused. If you're focused on worry and fear and doubt, that's what's going to come out in those conversations with your loved ones. And that's not what you want to spread. We don't want to spread more worry and fear and doubt right now. We want to spread more love and gratitude and possibility. You got to get that in yourself first in order to spread it. So that's what you want to do, folks. That's it for the day. And sending our love and light to all of you. We'll talk to you again really, really soon. That's a wrap.